Hari Om. Let us continue our study. We were looking at one of the verses from Nirbana Shatkam, Adi Shankaracharya's Nirbana Shatkam. Let us look at another verse which reveals the fact that I, the OC, the original consciousness, do not have any attributes that can be talked about. In verse 3 of the same Nirbana Shatkam, Adi Shankaracharya says, Na me dvesha ragau, na me lobha mohau, mado naiva me naiva matsarya bhavaha, na dharmo na chartho, na kamo na mokshaha, chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Chidananda-rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Neither do I have dislikes, nor do I have any likes. I do not have greed and infatuation. Never do I possess haughtiness. I never have the feeling of jealousy. I am neither the righteousness nor the material prosperity, nor the sense pleasures, nor liberation. I am certainly the auspiciousness of the form of consciousness bliss. In the Nirvana Shatkam verses, Adi Shankaracharya negates that which I am not. He says, Name dvesha ragau, name lobha mohau, name. I am not, I am not. Mado naiva me naiva matsarya bhavaha. Na dharmo na chartho na kamo na mokshaha. I am not even mokshaha. Moksha is not an event in time because moksha is my real nature. Moksha can be an attribute only if I am bound. I have never been bound. It is only an ideology. It is only a misconstrued idea that I have been holding about myself. Na dharmo, na chartho, na kamo, na mokshaha. I am neither of any of those four purusharthas. Then who am I? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I have always been so. I am always Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I will always remain so at any point of time in the future. So that was verse 3 from Nirvana Shatkam. When a jiva is looked at superficially, when a jiva is looked at superficially, it seems that he is inferior. It seems that he is inferior. But when he is looked at from his essential nature, he is the attributeless consciousness. Jiva is the attributeless consciousness. Intellectually removing the three media through which jiva expresses. This superficial meaning of the word jivaha is called vachyartha. Vachyartha. The primary meaning of the word jivaha. The meaning that immediately strikes us is vachyartha. The jiva, vachyartha implies the meaning of the word vachyartha is the word jiva is understood from the empirical angle with all his distortions and limitations. With all his distortions and limitations. This is what is understood by everyone, the common man. Vachyartha means that which is normally understood by everyone. And what is that? The distorted consciousness. When an individual describes himself, he does not introduce himself as Aham Sthula Sukshma Karanat Karana Sharirat Yatiriktaha Avasthatraya Sakshi Panchakosha Vilakshanaha. He doesn't say all that. Satchidananda Swarupaha Atma Ahamasmi. He doesn't say that. This is the definition of the Atma in Tattvabodha. He presents a miserable biodata. When someone questions who he is, he presents a miserable biodata. Someone jocularly said, someone answered to the question, what's your qualification? The other man said, my qualification, my qualification is BA FAILED. That's my qualification. Anyway, so the distorted meaning is the popular meaning. Therefore, it is called vachyartha. Vachyartha. Whereas when jiva is understood in his essential nature as undistorted original consciousness, when jiva is understood in his original nature, essential nature as undistorted original consciousness, it is called lakshyartha. Lakshyartha, the secondary meaning or the implied meaning. The implied meaning. So, jiva in his primary meaning, that is the vachyartha, is RC, the reflected consciousness, while jiva in his secondary meaning is OC, the undistorted version of consciousness. Similarly, Ishvaraha in his primary meaning is RC. The Vachyartha is RC, referring to the RC, a distorted version of consciousness with superior attributes. A very, very hard to digest fact. Can Ishvara, who who is infallible, who's Sarva Shaktiman, O Sarva Vyapi, can he be a distorted version of the same original consciousness? Well, that is the fact. Ishvaraha, in his undistorted version, in his original form, is OC without any attributes. Swamiji asks, is Jiva OC superior or is the Ishvara OC superior? There is no Jiva OC and Ishvara OC. Once we are at the level of the OC, until we were at the level of the RC, we did perceive, we did notice differences between Jiva and Ishvara. Whereas at the level of the OC, the original consciousness, once we are at this level, the differences between Jiva and Ishvara are resolved at the level of the original consciousness. Ekam eva advitiyam brahma. This statement, Ekam eva advitiyam, is a famous Chandogya Upanishad statement. This recognition of the essential oneness of OC, one has to recognize it is already true. We have been ignoring it successfully. It requires a guru backed by our great Shastras to reveal this fact to us. This recognition of the essential oneness of OC is called Jiva Ishvara Aikya Jnanam. What is it called? This recognition of the oneness, the essential oneness of OC, the original consciousness, is called Jiva Ishvara Aikya Jnanam. Jiva Ishvara Aikya Jnanam. The recognition of the essential oneness in undistorted OC. The essential oneness in undistorted OC is called Jiva Ishvara Aikya Jnanam. If we are asked, Swamiji's favorite question, one among his favorite questions, if we are asked, are Jiva and Ishvara identical or different? If we are asked, are Jiva and Ishvara identical or different? What must we answer? Swamiji often foxes us with such questions. He says, we must not answer. When there is a question with an apparent dichotomy, we must not answer such questions. Instead, we must ask a counter question. What is the standpoint or version from which they, Jiva and Ishvara, are looked at? Should be our question. What is the standpoint or the version from which they, Jiva and Ishvara, are looked at? Is it from the distorted RC standpoint or version? Or is it from the standpoint of the OC? Which standpoint are you wanting me, or are you keeping in mind should be the counter question to the questioner? Let me know your standpoint first. I will answer your question accordingly. We will look at how to answer such a question in the following capsule and take our study forward. Hari Om. ॐ दुर्जनः सज्जनो भूयात् सज्जनः शान्तिमाप्नुयात् शान्तो मुच्येत बन्धेभ्यः मुक्तश्चान्यान् विमोचयेत् सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ